channel.
Hey, you know what time it is?
Time is it, man?
The beautiful. Welcome everyone to another episode of Beatdown, the segment and channel where two worlds collide. I am your host, Class, and my co-host.
Mr. J, what's going on, guys? We have another one for you. And if you like these videos, go in the section below, subscribe, comment, share, and like.
Yeah. And without further ado, we are, we've been getting into the anime world. We're dipping our toe into it. We're not going to go all the way into the deep end, but we're dipping our toe into it because we want to keep our content fresh, or
Yeah.
more content for you guys to enjoy. So, this one's going to be an interesting one. I'm going to be representing DC Comics Green Lantern's John Stewart. Okay, so brief origin story. This one's a fascinating one because I've never actually looked into John Stewart's origins until just recently. Okay, so his mother was a civil rights organizer. And, he got inspired one day by his mom to do something. So he decided to fight for his country because he believed that he was doing the right thing for his fellow people. One day, he got dishonorably discharged or something like that. And it was for doing the right thing, apparently, which was messed up. So he decided, okay, well, I'm done with the Marines. I'm just going to go to college now. So he went to college and he majored in architect. Decided to learn how to be, he got a master's degree in architect after that, and then became an architect. He created his own architectural firm. At one point, while he was building, some structure, out of nowhere, a manhunter shows up. And a manhunter starts attacking. Manhunter's like this robotic droid that comes and, can do a lot of really dangerous things. It starts attacking him and his fellow people. Him, without any powers, decides to throw down with this Manhunter, even though he knew he could probably die. His bravery really did show the Guardians, who are I guess they're called the Guardians of the Galaxy, or no, I don't know what they're called, but they're called Guardians. What do you call it? And it's these superior aliens that have been around for so long, and they're the ones who have the power and give the power to the Green Lantern Corps for their ring and all that stuff. So they wanted to test John Stewart out, and he showed his worth, and they decided, hey, we're going to give you a ring. So they gave him a ring at the moment's notice while he was fighting the Manhunter, and then he was able to beat the Manhunter with it. But they never told him that they did all that to test him, because if they did, they know John Stewart would have a field day. And that is the brief origin story of Green Lantern's John Stewart. Alright, since we've never talked about the powers, abilities, and feats of this particular character, let me give you some of that. Is that way? Alright. He's a master builder for his ability to construct things based on his background in architect. With the Lantern Ring and the proper willpower and imagination, he can channel light-based constructs that can possess the power of the cosmos. The ring possesses a wide array of functions such as translating alien language, flight, the ability to breathe in space, illusion casting, enhanced strength and durability, etc. Former United States Marine. He's also got an architect degree, and here are his feats. Okay. Restrained Martian Manhunter in Berserker mode. Power Blast to power blast to push back the Justice League themselves. Has the willpower to exceed the ring power itself. Okay, so how the ring works is that they have to have the willpower to be able to conjure whatever they want, but he has more will than the ring can even handle. So think about that kind of that situation there. He can hold the earth together. Okay, bounce off a star blowing up. He is ascended, making him on the power level of Superman himself. Destroyed Lex Luthor's armor suit. That's not easy to do. Block attacks from Cyborg. Force characters like Sinestro off his mind. Hold off a planet of Black Lanterns by creating his own army with his willpower. Okay, damn. Able to create his own solar system. That is the most impressive feat. He has the ability to create his own solar system with his own willpower. Damn. Okay. So, let's talk about the endgame. Okay, between the two characters, John Stewart has a much more cooler head at times than Bakugo will. And that does count for something, because you gotta have a level head when you need to fight someone, because you could miss something, you could lose a step, you could overwhelm yourself or do something that they wanted you to do. There's a lot of ways where Jon Stewart could mess with Bakugo in that kind of way, where he can mess with him and kind of get him to throw his little tantrum and then make him lose focus during a fight. And I do believe Jon Stewart's force field shield is capable of handling Bakugo's fire blast. I do believe it's going to hold off for a long period of time if it needs to against him during the fight. Okay, another couple things we could talk about is close-up and far-range shots. I mean, Jon Stewart's probably going to have a little more in his arsenal, considering the fact that his willpower is incredible enough that he could probably throw a rocket at him, or a big huge boulder at him, or some planet right at him or something if he wanted to. Or he can bring an army of his own people and throw down with Bakugo while he wants to. There's all that possibilities. Up close, he still has that energy to protect him from any kind of real harsh attacks. And of course, that's the opportunity for Green Lantern's ring to kind of do some observation. He could do that from a far distance, but up close would be probably a little bit easier. Be able to kind of figure out pinpoint weaknesses of Bakugo's weaponry. You probably know how to figure out what Bakugo uses in order to fight against someone with his powers. Now, another thing is the environment, the harsh conditions. That's one thing to consider. He could take the fight to a very cold environment. A very cold environment comes in handy for Jon Stewart, because Bakugo needs the palm of the sweat in his hand in order to start his powers. So without it, he can't really do much with it, or he has a low ball power. It's not really going to be much to do damage as much as he wants to. And going against someone like Jon Stewart, you're going to want all your powers ready and focused against someone with a cosmic level ring power. So I do believe that if he takes him in a harsh condition environment, he could slow him down there or put him down for the count in that way. I do believe Green Lantern's ring is much more stronger than Bakugo's weaponry. I do believe he could break the weaponry before Bakugo can really actually do any kind of severe damage with his powers. Another thing I'll add is Green Lantern can take the fight to space. It wouldn't be much of a challenge, you know? I mean, Bakugo could try to use his fire blast to kind of try to burn through the construct, but this is the man who can create his own galaxy or his own solar system, for crying out loud. I mean, I'm sure he's going to be able to hold that fire blast for a long period of time, and it's going to backfire against Bakugo if he decides to burn himself inside a ball that's protecting or holding him in. Jon Stewart could carry him all the way to space, throw him into a black hole if he wanted to. He could just let him go and let the no gravity or no oxygen just end his life that way. I mean, there's just so many ways where Jon Stewart has much more of an advantage, whether he takes it from a far fight, close fight, whether he takes it to a different environment. It doesn't really matter. Plus, his experience alone and his galactical experience alone just gives him much more of a comprehension of how to battle someone like Bakugo. At the end of it all, I do believe Jon Stewart's Green Lantern has this in the bag.
Beware my power! Green Lantern's light!
Okay, my contestant today is UA's Katsuki Bakugo. Now, Bakugo is one of the top students in Class 1A at UA University, or UA High, forget. It's either a small college or a high school. Either way, they are a high school which is based in Japan, and they are all superheroes. We've already kind of covered My Hero in their world and kind of what they consider. They don't really call them superpowers, they call them quirks, and you are born with these, and they manifest, I believe, when you're either 4 or 5 or 6, roughly around there. So that's Bakugo's origin, what we know of it so far, at least based off of the show. As far as the manga, they probably go more into his universe or his origin. I apologize for that, but I'm going to just go into his abilities, his equipment, and his feats. Bakugo has the quirk of explosion, and what this means is he can secrete sweat into the palm of his hands. The problem is, well, it's not exactly a problem, but this is what the process is. He sweats nitroglycerin, or a nitroglycerin-like substance. and he secures it into the palm of his hand, creating an explosion. However, there is it's either a rumor or it's either in a rumor or a manga or a part of the manga where he gets a power up and he's able to do explosions from different parts of his body, not just his hands. Another thing to note is Bakugo doesn't need his equipment to make the explosion. It helps him. It basically, what these gauntlets, his gloves that he wears, it stores his sweat into containers that he can use, and he fires them off. Also, when he pulls the pin from the grenade, because his gauntlets look like giant grenades, it's not just for show or a design. He pulls the pin and it releases one giant burst. And that one single burst from his gauntlet can destroy... It's vast. It is insane, the destruction this thing can cause. It can pretty much almost level a quarter of a building, if not the building itself. He has enhanced strength, enhanced reflexes, durability, stamina. He has keen intellect and leadership skills. I've already covered his quirk. Yeah. I'm going to start. He has these special abilities or special moves that he calls, and that's, what he calls them. That's why, when I say stuff like stun grenade or things like that, some people might be confused. Like, well, what does that mean? Does he carry a stun grenade? No, it's just one of his little special moves that he does with his quirk that, that's what he's called it. Stun grenade, AP shot. What AP shot is he does like more of a little concentrated blast. It's when he does his blast, he kind of uses the palm of his hands, kind of like he's giving you a giant high five. But the AP shot, he kind of concentrates a laser beam like explosion, and these explosions are enough to shatter concrete and steel. And the AP shot has gone through layers of concrete, so it's more of a direct laser beam attack. And he's altered it, so he has AP shot, he has AP shot autocannon, AP shot machine gun. He has explodopult. People forget how vast Bakugo uses this ability. It is not just for attacks. He uses it for maneuvers and to maneuver himself around his opponents. And what he does is he pretty much aims it at the ground and explodes himself and propels himself forward. And he can do this mid-air. So he can change his trajectory of himself mid-air, changing, where his opponents think he's going to be. And 9 times out of 10, he gets around his opponents with this. He has landmine blast and cluster. One of my favorite abilities that he has, or his special moves, is called the howitzer impact. If you've watched the show, it's kind of what he hit Todoroki with. Now, he won the tournament, yes, I know this, and I know Todoroki probably could have taken him. And I know he, let him win, but whatever, Bakugo won. Anyway, what this ability is, he propels himself forward at you, but he basically turns himself into a giant bullet.
Damn.
And he just nails you with that impact. Wait, all right, one last thing I want to go over. He also carries improv grenades. He has little homemade grenades on his belt, which he uses to improvise and distract his opponents. Now, going into the end game, because this is going to be interesting. Jon Stewart's whole thing is willpower. And what is the enemy of willpower? Fear. The longer this fight goes, the stronger Bakugo's going to go, because the more he's going to sweat, which means the more firepower he possesses. I've already covered a little bit about how Bakugo uses this ability, but what I didn't mention is the tenacity in which he uses it. Now, what I mean by that is Bakugo is intense. That man should be a villain. I've had many people tell me that man is a menace. And no, I don't mean Spider-Man. The fear, the sheer fear Bakugo instills in his opponent. There was a moment in time where during the tournament he was facing off against Chaco. Bakugo's, I'm not Bakugo, Deku's little girlfriend that she makes stuff float. Ochako or whatever. I'm sorry, I forgot her name. The girl that makes things float. Basically what she did is she took gravel from his explosions and she made a meteor shower. Now, this was enough to basically cover, it was the width of a football stadium. So this boulders and just debris and was turned into a massive meteor shower fell. And it was coming straight towards Bakugo. And she thought she had the win. And you would think, because her strategy was whether he's dodging or using his explosions to make the rubble burst apart, I'll have an opening and I can attack him. Bakugo looked at this meteor shower that was coming towards him, did not flinch, used his ability once, and with a single blast, evaporated the debris.
Damn.
He was not hit once.
Like, eat my dust.
Pretty much. So the tenacity and just his sheer force and velocity, Jon Stewart is going to question himself. Either himself or he's going to, seeing the impact that his explosions can do to his constructs, it's going to make him question his abilities or himself for 1 second, and that's all Bakugo needs. As I've already said, these explosions can go through concrete, so I want to say he can at least damage Jon Stewart's construct. It's a little far-fetched and a little bit of a, hope and prayer, but with that all together, I don't think Jon Stewart's going to make it out of this one. He stands a chance, yes. I'm not going to say he doesn't. But if he starts to question himself, and especially the longer this fight goes, and if he's not able to put together that the sweat is what's fueling it, he's in trouble. Especially if Bakugo pulls the pin and uses that Ultra Blast on him. Whether it be from, it's going to have to be from up close. So Bakugo's going to have to make him question himself, make him question his constructs. He's going to have to use the Explodapult to propel himself behind Jon. And while he's behind him, he's going to have to pull the pin on his grenade, and he's going to have to use that and let it rip, and no more Jon Stewart. Is it going to be that easy? No. But, like I said, the longer this fight goes, the longer I feel it's in Bakugo's favor. Because the longer the fight goes, the more he's going to have to use his ring to contend with Bakugo. That's going to drain his battery. I know the Green Lanterns are strong, but their battery and their juice does run out. I'm sorry, it does. You could say it lasts 24 hours, it lasts this, it lasts that. Eventually it does run out. I'm sorry, it does. He's going to have to recharge it or do something. Bakugo, the longer this fight goes, it's more in his favor. Yes, I do realize the more they use their quirk, the more it damages their body. But Bakugo really has been pushing himself to a limit that only one other student's been able to kind of match him at, and that's Deku, Midoriya, and maybe even Todoroki. Like, the three of them kind of are the top three in their class. But yeah, if he's able to make Jon Stewart question himself, and with his equipment and his tenacity, Bakugo has us in the bag for sure.
Okay. All right. As always, no press, fam. It's not up to me. It's not up to my boy here. It's up to you guys. So, if you guys like my argument, you know what you can do? Damn. You can hashtag Jon Stewart
Jon Stewart.
Green Lantern.
Or just Green Lantern.
Or just Green Lantern, I guess. Yeah. And if you like my boy's argument, what can you do, brother?
Hashtag Bakugo.
Yeah. And as always, no press, fam. We really appreciate you guys. All of you guys. Thank you so much. Catch you guys later. Peace.